All right, yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 3 o'clock here we're in New Vienna, Iowa now. We're at my in-laws' house. I'm on the deck in a deck chair. It is very nice, but it is hot. I may regret this later. It is just 3 o'clock. June 28th, Sunday. Hopefully everyone's doing well. I'm going to try going with the AirPod Pro today, keeping it simple. We're transitioning from the house we've been in Guttenberg, Iowa. We're heading now to stay here in this house in New Vienna. And so we're in the middle of the move. So like all my computer stuff's all like packed up and all that kind of stuff. So keeping it really simple today. And hopefully I don't regret it too much because it's a hot day out here, but we'll see. We'll see how long I can handle it. Let's see who's here. We got J. Mike Remy's here. Martha's here. Sotimak. Awesome. Good to see everyone here. Stevie76. Shannon's here as well. CJ Cruz. JC says outside crazy. Yeah, it's a pretty nice day. It was super humid on my run this morning, and I was definitely struggling because of that humidity. I brought probably not enough water, but I didn't run out of water until after like the real hard parts of the workout were done. So then at that point, it was just kind of like, you know, kind of like stumbling my way in on the cool down. So it wasn't too bad. William Bates says, I'm really excited for the Meta Racer, but have heard that some people say to go half size down or a 9.5 in Hyperion Tempo, and they fit perfect. What do you think? I would go with the 9.5. I would with the same size in both of those shoes, and the Meta Racer fits me great. Nico De Simone says, "Yo, what's going on? What's going on, Nico?" Curtis Lost is here. Awesome. Bert Leguess, Michael Sessler. My mom's here. How's it going, mom? Um, CJ Cruz says, "Can we get the Beacon 3 already?" Yeah, I wish we did. And we talked about it a little bit yesterday in the live stream, where people in the UK have had it for a while now, like a month now. I don't know what the delay is in the US. Just doesn't make sense. Gavin Braden's here, says, "What's up, all? Good to see you." Let's see. Shannon said, "Oh, Shannon's talking to J Mike." Giorgio Missidi says, "Hey," with a lot of Y's at the end. So I'm trying to uh, give that comment the correct, I guess, inflection is the word I'm looking for. Yeah. And Eska 2114 says, I got the Meta Racer, don't go half size. Yeah, I would agree with that. Can anyone, Sody Max says, can anyone identify anything on those mirror sunglasses? I mean, it's just the rest of the deck and my feet. I got my feet up. So I don't know, can you see my toes in there? You can see my phone. You can see the neighbor's house. You can see like there's another over there. There's another table with chairs and stuff. So it's a really big deck that my in-laws built out here. I remember I'm not going to say that I helped build it, but I did help dig a hole for one of the pilings for this deck. I think I did like 15 minutes worth of work. And then everyone kind of was like, don't hurt yourself, Mike, go inside. But yeah, before it was just like a little, like 3, 4 steps going into the door over there. But now it's a giant deck. There's a grill out here. My mother-in-law put some lights, hung some lights out here. There's some plants. It's really pleasant. In the summertime, my girls like to come out here and they like to watch iPad videos while my mother-in-law will drink coffee and we'll be out here, you know, on our devices just relaxing. And it's a great place to spend the morning and just the afternoon too so far. Ines Dunbar says, "Hey, Kofuzi and everybody." Jody Run says, "Good day, everyone." Tom Anderson's coming in from the UK. Good to see you. Um, J. Mike Remy says, "Happy to take the Out of Zero Pro to 100 miles for you." Yeah. Um, Mark Chain Coco says, "What's up? What's up?" Edgar says, "Your thoughts on the Clifton Edge?" I think that if you live in an area where there's lots of uphill and downhill, especially a lot of downhill, I think it makes a lot of sense. I've been definitely noticing that some of the shoes where I've been running in the areas around here with lots of uphill and downhill, the downhills, I really enjoy having a lot of either like two things, having a very strong carbon fiber plate, like in some of the racing shoes I've been running in, or I like having just a lot of cushion in the heel. And so as long as that Clifton Edge, like little tail thing, doesn't trip me or like make me catch my foot, then I think it'll work. But but I don't know. I'm not running anything that sticks out behind me so far. Um, Stevie76 saying hi to my mom. That's cool. Um, Louis Becerra, what I was laughing at, giggling at before is Louis Becerra says, your mom should just shout out hello kids to everybody. I think you guys are making her all blush. Running with AJ and Max says, good morning. Good morning to you. Roadrunner Review says, hello. Awesome. Harry Hughes says, hi, I see you've been doing quite a few miles in the PEG 37s. How are you getting on with them? Mixed reviews online so far. I'm surprised that there's mixed reviews because I really enjoy them. The React is definitely different as far as like it feeling like the other Pegasus that I've experienced. All the other Pegasus that I've experienced have Cushlon with Zoom Air pockets in them. This has a different kind of Zoom Air pocket, but React foam. And so that's made it feel a little bit stiffer. The rubber outsole also seems to be a little bit thicker, just like a touch thicker. I don't know, maybe I was imagining it, but it's a comfortable shoe. It's a Pegasus. It does what a Pegasus does. So I've been liking it. I think I have one more run in them, and then I should be at the 100-mile mark. Let's see. MC 1796 says, "Damn, Kofuzi, does your license plate for your car say non-elite?" No, it doesn't. That'd be weird if it did. I think it'd be kind of funny, but there are a lot of vanity plates in this state. I've noticed. JC says, "Is there a cold beverage nearby?" There isn't. I wish there were, but we've got to do some more packing up at the old house or at the other house. And so we're gonna do some driving. We got some more work to do before we can really relax. But yeah, it would be a great day for that. Um, Sony Max says, I zoomed in on a screenshot and saw the phone. That's some really good selfie cam. Yeah. Um, let's see. Um, Shannon says, Kofuzi, how are you outdoors? I haven't gotten my running yet, but I'm actually thinking I may succumb to the TM. Yeah, I mean it's hot, but like where my in-laws live, there is always a nice cross breeze that comes through this spot here, and so it's actually not too bad. It's breezy, and it's not nearly as humid here as it was down in Guttenberg where we were by the river. So it's relatively comfortable right now. When the sun is out and it's super bright, it gets hot. But when the sun is behind some clouds like it is now, or it's kind of behind clouds, it's okay. I can deal with it. But I mean, St. Louis heat is a whole different kind of heat than what we have up in here in Iowa. CB76 is Kofuzi is in flexing. That's funny. Um, Chris Dyke is here. Awesome. Good to see you. Uh, my mom said hi to everybody. Awesome. Very cool, mom. Let's see. Uh, Shannon says, Kofuzi, I was telling the early birds you should employ an opener for your non-elite fans. I think I could be your person. Well, you guys, I think, are doing a really good job between many of you of making it a welcoming place in the like minutes before like the live stream starts. So, I mean, when I'm sitting at my laptop, I could see like the chat before I actually start. When I look at it from the phone, I don't see any of the chat till I get in here, but I could see it as I'm like getting ready, especially when I have technical difficulties. And it looks like you guys are having fun in there. It's like it makes me like feel like jealous in a way. Like I want to be in there. You guys are having fun chit chatting. I want to be in there too. But that just means it seems like a great place. So like I think you guys are doing a great job. Mark Jangogo says you should totally get a non-elite license plate. That's funny. CJ Cruz says, is the React foam and air pocket combo in the PEG 37 noticeable? Like a harder spot under the foot versus the rest of the midsole? I would say that the React foam is a little bit stiffer than Cushlon is. And I would say that the air pocket, to me anyway, is less noticeable than in prior Pegasus shoes. So like they say it's like 20 something psi. I don't know. It if someone was like, "Ha, fooled you. There's no Zoom Air Pocket and all. It's just React." I'd be like, "Yeah, I believe you." So it's just it's to me. I'm not even sure it's in there. Whereas previous Pegasus had the opposite problem where at first the bubble was too noticeable and that bothered a lot of people. I think a lot of people who didn't buy Pegasus because of that, but then it would mellow out and it would just become part of the shoe in a really nice way. And that would last for a couple hundred miles. And then towards the end, you'd be like, I feel an indentation where there used to be a really great zoom air pocket there. And so that used to be like the life cycle of the zoom air pocket. This one, I'm still struggling to really feel like a prominent zoom air pocket. Let's see. Mr. Random says, "Hi team. I hope all had a great long run today." Awesome. Cool. Um, Martha says, "I'm amazed how early the first chatters get here. Shows how much we love this. Look forward every day." Oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. Um, yeah, Ennis Dunbar also saying he likes the amount of chat at the start now. We're all getting to know each other. Yeah, that's cool. It's really cool. Um, Gavin Braden says, "Weather looks great there. Absolutely tipping it down in Belfast." Oh, yeah. I mean, it's nice. It's been weird because the weather forecast always kind of has like, slight chance of thunderstorms on and off every day is pretty much like the weather forecast. And then you have to check it again when you wake up in the morning because then it might be like just pure sun and maybe a little humid with pure sun. And that's what today is like. Mark Chankoko says he looks forward to doing this every day as well. That's cool. That's cool. Not really. Hank Aaron says walking through Menards now. Not really, Hank Aaron. I think that you're doing something during the live stream every day. Am I wrong on that? Am I remembering that incorrectly? I feel like every day that there's something going on. That's pretty funny. Let's see. Um, Chris Dyke says, "Hey Kofuzi, I'm back on the hunt for a handheld slash hydration pack for my longer training runs. What do you suggest?" Well, I've been running in the Camelback Zephyr, and it's a 4 liter pack, and I run with a 2 liter hydration bladder in it. But I haven't been using it a lot lately. I don't know if you guys can see it, but here I'm all chafed up, right there. I'm all cut up, and I've got some on the other, not as bad on the other side. So I've been avoiding it lately because, oh, the sun is like really beating down on me. It's making weird shadow. But there was one day where I ran with the front bottles on it, and I was unbalanced, and it just was like shaking all over the place, and that's when it really like chased me like crazy. So I stopped using that, even though I like the size of the 2 liter bladder. And then so since then, and it's been like a week now, and it still looks like that. And since then, I've been using the Flip Belt water bottle. The only problem with that is it only holds like a little bit more than 10 mils, 10 ounces. 10 mils would be ridiculous. It holds 10 ounces of fluid, which on a day like today, like I could have used like 15 would have been great. 16 would have been great. And so 10 was a little bit shy for me for today. So it depends on how long the run was. My run was 2 hours today. And so I felt like I was a little bit shy. And I still did have 2 gels as well. So like it's a struggle. But those are like the two that I kind of use in terms of sizes. So 10 ounces is a great size for most runs where I don't need a lot. If I need more than that, then I usually like the Camelback Zephyr. I just don't like it front loaded. I only like it with the hydration bladder in it right now. Um, Let's see. J. Mike Remy says, "I may have ditched my family to go upstairs for the stream." That's so funny. Hey, J. Mike, I listened to your interview with Rambling Runner the other day. It was really good. I'm glad. I mean, it took me a while to get to it for no real reason. I apologize for that, but I listened to it, and it was really cool to hear that talk. So I really enjoyed it. You guys should check that out as well. I'll try to put a link to it in the description for this one in case anyone's interested in listening to it too. Um, let's see. Um, what else was I looking for here? All right. Um, Tom Anderson says, "Hey, did any of you check out The Golden Hour, a short film by Austin Meyer that got premiered today? It was a great short film about the last hour of Western States 100. Really great watch." I saw a couple of videos about, I don't know if it was him or didn't Ginger Runner also make a video about Western States that just released as well? Or am I just looking at the Golden Hour one? Um, I saw something today and I was like, ooh, I want to watch all of those. I just don't have time to get to that today because we're moving and stuff. So, but yeah, I didn't get a chance to see it. Steve Washington says, "Watching for about a year, and I've decided to take over my health and wellness. I've been overweight my whole life. I'm down almost 30 pounds. Thanks for the inspiration and great content. Hashtag resonance." Well, that's awesome, Steve. That's a great amount of progress. And I thank you that are thanking me, but I mean, you've been doing all that work. You've been taking over. You made that decision, and that's awesome. And thanks for being a part of the group here. That's great. That's great work, Steve. Um, let's see. Joe Durfler says, "Help needed. Lightweight trail runner tip, please." Um, I mean, I don't. I mean, the most recent trail shoe that I ran in was a Salomon Sense Ride 3. I wouldn't really call it a lightweight trail runner. Um, my favorite, I mean, I'm not the greatest resource for trail running shoes, but my favorite has been the Terra Kiger. I didn't run in this year's, but I ran in last year's, and I really enjoyed that one. Um, that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. I'm also really looking forward to the Brooks one that they just, I don't know if I don't think it's been released yet, but who has it? Thomas has one. I think Believe in the Run. They have one, and it has that DNA flash foam that I really like. So I think that will probably be like the trail shoe that I've been looking for because I've run with the Hyperion Tempos around here on some of the dirt roads, and it does well. So like I think they make a trail version that has a little bit more tread to it, a little bit more grip. I think that's going to be a real winner for that fast, lightweight trail shoe, which is like a weird like combination of words, but like I totally understand what you're looking for. A1 Rex says, "What's up, Kofuzi? Much love from Los Angeles. Awesome. Just finished up an 11-mile run at Griffith Park. Now heading to a 20-mile bike ride. Oh, that's quite a break, man. Um, 11 miles and then 20 miles. That's a lot. Well, go get it. Much love, bro. Awesome. Thanks for checking in. Um, let's see. Kelly Benedetti says, Jim McGrummy, you're hiding from your family to discuss 2 inches. Oh, that's funny. Um, let's see. Um, J. Mike Remy says, thanks, Co. And Michael Sessler says, Ginger Runners one was the last mile. I think that's the one that's been showing up in my feed today, and I definitely want to check that one out. Backman says, hit my first 30-mile week ever today. Awesome. That's super cool. You know, I think I need like a bell or something. I think not like a PR bell, but I think we need like when we got comments like Back Fam hitting his first 30-mile week, and we got was it Steve? I'm sorry, I forgot your name already. It was just up here. Um, Steve Washington commenting. I think we need like a congratulatory sound of some sort. Maybe I'll get like once I get my rig set back up again, I'll have like a sound effect that I could play. But we got, or I think just a regular cowbell, like the kind you see at races. I need one of those because this is awesome. We got to celebrate our victories. You know what I mean, guys? Um, Chris Statsny says leaving Iowa. No, we're not leaving Iowa. We are. We spent. We weren't sure how long we were going to spend at that other house in Guttenberg, Iowa, but it's really close to my in-laws' house, and that's where we are now. And so now we're moving in with my in-laws, so that way there's kind of two families together. Um, so we're still in Iowa, just kind of like about 20 miles up the road. 15 miles up the road. Well, 15 minutes. About 15 miles up the road, I think. I'm not sure. Um, Sonia Mock says, watch the last mile as well today. It was awesome, but there are crazy many Western 100 videos out. Yeah, it's crazy that there's like 2 on the same day getting released. Um, let's see. Yeah, Martha says, Steve Washington should listen to J. Mike Remy's interview because it's inspiring for exactly where he's at. I would agree with that. That's a good one. Um, Mr. Ram says, yeah, the Rambling Runner with Jamie and Michael was really cool. Also, Jamie is a fun dude. Yeah, I listened to that one earlier this week as well. And it was like, it's like the most serious, not that he was serious in a bad way, but the most serious that Jamie was for like an hour that I've ever like experienced with Jamie. So it was like a new side to Jamie, which I thought was pretty cool. But it was still very much Jamie. So that was a good interview. Um, I like that one. It was really cool. Um, Road Review says we need a Kofuzi Run Club training shoe. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could all kind of like. Well, I mean, you know, I don't. I think that would be kind of cool, but I think it'd be better to have more of like a book review. Like, here's the one where maybe we could all run in one at the same time. You know, that kind of thing. I think that would be more interesting to me because then we could all like talk about like our thoughts on it. I think you're onto something, Roadrunner Reviews. Um, Jody Run says, Ginger Runner was the last mile. I normally love his films, was not a fan of the story for this one. Oh, interesting. Awesome. Jenny says, barefoot easy runs on grass. Do you include them in your training? I don't. I don't really have a lot of, I guess I do have some access to grass in Chicago where I'm at. Um, but a lot of the grass that I have access to, I'm always constantly worried that there's dog poop and dog pee because it is a city and there's not like that much grass. I mean, there's Lincoln Park and there's lots of grass there. But it's just not something that's occurred to me to do is barefoot running. I think maybe if I had access to like a soccer field that I could go run around. Oh man, guys, it's getting hot and I didn't bring sunscreen, so that was a mistake. I'm hoping for some more cloud cover. I don't think I'm gonna get any. Whew, it's hot. Ryan Bradley says, I've lost 206 pounds running and just started my own channel journey to qualify for the Boston Marathon. Thank you for inspiring me to push hard. That is insane, Ryan. Wow, 206 pounds. Congratulations. That's an amazing number. Um, Super Smoke says it's been way too long since her last run. Little man will not cooperate. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Man, I know that's so hard when the kids don't nap regularly. Um, Chris Georgialakis says, hi from Athens, Greece. What's going on, Chris? Um, Blaine Masterson says, light run today after a solid 14 miler yesterday. That's cool. Nice to take it easy on a Sunday. That's a great way to do it. Um, let's see. Um, Martha says, you need a gong like some marathons have for hitting a BQ. I would like to go to a marathon that has a gong for hitting a BQ. That sounds like so much fun. But then if you don't get it, you're like, oh man, I came here to hit the gong. That would be kind of disappointing though too. Sony Max says, watched Chasing Ponamu for the first time yesterday. Now that's a crazy tearjerker. I'm not familiar with that one. Um, Steve Arnberg says, tonight's run will make a second straight 50-mile week. Not sure I can keep it up. Pretty slow last night. Wow, that's cool. But Steve, if you're shooting for some higher mileage, then it's okay if it's pretty slow. That's all right. That's the goal isn't to be doing it fast. But if you can't keep it up, a cutback week. I mean, this week is a cutback week for me. Last week I had my highest ever of 100. This week I hit 71, and so and I even had a rest day. So like definitely toned it down a little bit, but it didn't feel like I toned it down that much, which I think that goes to show you like that my body is still tired, and then it like adds up. J. Mike Remy always trying to get people to get on a bike, telling Super Smokes, "Can I interest you in cycling, perhaps?" He's so funny. Um, Chris Statsney says, "Oh, cool. My uncle said the lakefront trail opened back up and was packed yesterday." Yeah, that's what I've been hearing, and from what I see from all my friends and my Instagram running friends, they're posting their footage from the lakefront. It does look like there's a good amount of people, but I think no one should be, sitting there to like hang out at the beach. It should be for exercise and transit only. So you got to keep moving it through. Hopefully, at least if you're following the rules. Um, Patricia Monroe says this morning Chicago is still vacant except for a few runners. Oh, awesome. Well, I guess maybe it's just time of day. Christine Boo says this is the weekend that Western States should have been run. That's why both videos were released in the same time frame. That makes more sense. That's what I was suspecting. I was like, there must be some significance to the date. Lazy Husband says, whoa, my first Kofuzi live feed. Well, glad to have you here. Glad you made it. Martha calling out J. Mike Remy for started the cycling proselytizing. But I did say, though, when we did move in with my in-laws, I might get a bike. So I'm going to try to figure out if maybe there's a way that I can like curbside purchase some sort of bike. Or maybe like buy a used bike off of someone and be like, hey, I'll Venmo you the money if you just like leave the bike outside, kind of thing. Vince Vanderpeer says, how old are you actually? I'm 40. Um, Ryan Bradley says, thank you, Kofuzi. Heading out for my meditation session shortly, but would love your feedback on my channel. All right, Ryan. Hey, Ryan, send me a message like on Instagram, because that way it'll be an easier way for me to remember. We'll put a comment in the description, not in the chat, but it could have comment down below the video. And I hope you enjoy your session, your meditation session. Martha says, Kofuzi, Mountains to Beach has a gong, and it's beautiful, gentle downhill like tunnel, ends at Ventura Beach. The website says, you know you want to hit that gong. Well, I don't know. I'm pretty much sold. I'm gonna have to look into that, Martha. Louis Becerra says, just hit the gong. No one will know if you BQ. But it's not the same if you didn't actually BQ. It's not. It wouldn't be as satisfying. Steve Whitey says, Jamie rates the Rebel 2. Try not to buy any more tempo-style shoes until 2021. He says, smiley face, but not likely. All right, we'll see. Yeah, I'm excited for the idea of the Rebel 2. I still haven't finished running in my Rebel 1. So that might be one of those shoes that the timing has worked out where I could do a Rebel 1 versus Rebel 2 if they're different enough. I don't know that they're changing too much. I haven't heard much about it at all. Mig Soldick says, I think I said that right. Monday long run for me. Shout out from the Philippines. All right. Have a good run. Jups Mangalovnan says, time check 4:30 a.m. Whoa. Hello from Philippines. Recovery day, but we'll have a benchmark run or 15 minutes run and restorative yoga. That sounds like a good day. Mike Howe says, how do you define true to size? Do you ever measure your foot length? Yeah, how I define true to size, it's probably the most frequently asked question, but it's one where I just always just say yes. But the way that I define true to size is I've been wearing size 9 running shoes in every brand, pretty much for every shoe that I've run in for like the last 4 years. There's like one shoe that I haven't, and that's because of that was the tester size that they had available in that shoe because I got it early. But so I ran in a 9.5. But every other shoe I've run in a size 9, and if it fits, then I say it's true to size. If it fits really, really snug, if it's a little bit way too snug, like for example, the first versions of the Peg Turbo 1 and the Odyssey React 2, those shoes were like way too tight. That wasn't right with those. Then I'll say that, but I still think that later versions of the Turbo were fixed and like the regular sizes were fine. So that's how I define true to size. I haven't measured my foot in probably 4 or 5 years. Although I've had it measured when I went to Roadrunner Sports that time to get insoles. But other than that, I don't measure. I've never measured my feet. Blaine Masterson says, back to unloading a freight truck. Y'all have a good one. Well, good luck, Blaine. Awesome. I feel like that's a story that needs more explanation, but hope you're having a good day and stay safe. Lift with your legs. Sody Max says, you all have to see Chasing Poname. It's a running documentary about a 57-year-old trying to run a 100-miler at the back of the pack. Crazy inspiring. Oh, cool. That sounds like my kind of story. I like it. All right. JC said, ran a 5K club race today in 3-inch shorts. Sadly, did not quite run to their implied speed. That's funny. Because like we say, the shorter the shorts, the faster the runner. So, awesome. Well, I hope you had a good race, though, either way. Even if you didn't make it 3-inch short speed, I hope you still had a good run. Roster Run says, I cycle when I'm hurt. It's less wear and tear on the joints. Yeah, for sure. Oski501 says, what's your opinion of those 3D midsoles that Adidas is putting in some shoes? Like the 4D ones? I've run in the Alpha Edge 4D. I guess that's generation 1 of that type of shoe because the new 4D shoes look a little bit different. And I've run in them, and they've, at the level of the technology that the Alpha Edge 4D is, it's 100% gimmick. I don't understand it. It doesn't, I don't know why. It was an expensive shoe, and I don't know what benefit it is. So that's kind of like how I feel about it. I haven't run in the new version of the Alpha, of like the 4D midsoles that they're creating now, so I don't know if it's improved. I hope it's improved. But Kelly Benedetti says, back to work. It's great making it to the live chat. Well, great to see you, Kelly. Roster Run says, do you still do things for people's charities? I'm currently taking a break on that because it was tied to charity like fundraising for races. Since there aren't races, there's not charity running to do. So like, or I mean, I know that's not exactly true. I think that a lot of people are still on the hook for their charity running obligations, but I haven't been doing it just because with pandemic and lockdown and massive unemployment, I just feel like there's a lot of other things that people could do to take care of your neighbors around you. I should probably, make some sort of reminder along those regards. But like that's kind of like when everything shut down. I shut that program down for a little while. I'm hoping to bring it back in 2020, but I don't see it happening. So, all right, I'm gonna have to get it going soon, guys, because it's like hot out here. But Scott says, order the endorphin speed. Let's see if you're right. I mean, I hope I, I hope I am. I always get so nervous still when people say, I ordered this shoe after watching your review, and I'm like, I hope you like it. I like it, so I hope you do too. CJ Cruz says, are fast shoes determined by power and cadence? Will a heavy person with the same cadence gain the same benefits of the shoe as a lighter person? Those are two very good questions. And I think when I talk about fast shoe and I say it's a fast shoe, I think it's one that is like kind of like think of it like a golf club. Like some golf clubs, like a driver, are a powerful club designed for a certain specific kind of task. Um, Pitching wedge is also a very good, useful club for when you need to hit the ball, hit the ball a shorter distance and get it up in the air so that you can land it down, and so there's not a lot of rolling around afterwards, right? So like they're one, the pitching wedge isn't better than the driver necessarily in and of itself. And so like a fast shoe has certain things about it that are designed for when you want to run fast days. It might not have as much protection in the heel because you shouldn't be hitting the heel as much when you're running really fast. The midsole foam might feel a little bit firmer because you're going to be hitting the ground harder or pushing off harder. More force is going to be applied to that shoe. So like for it to feel soft, you have to start out with a firmer shoe. If you have a soft shoe and you're running fast, you'll just smush it, right? And so those are some things that go into a fast shoe. Another is the fit of the upper in terms of like how tight is it, how snug do you feel in there. Again, another way to think of that is like, think of like a 5-point harness in a race car versus like a regular like a lap belt that you might have on a kiddie ride at an amusement park. Very different types of safety measures or tools for different um, purposes. And will a heavier person with the same cadence gain the same benefits of the shoe as a lighter person? I think it depends on the shoe, and I think it depends on the midsole foam or if there's a carbon fiber plate on that carbon fiber plate. Um, so I think that the way that I generally look at it for people that are heavier is like if you are looking for a daily trainer, I might bump you up one category to like, well, let's look at the max cushion shoes or like the higher performing max cushion shoes because of the extra weight, or if you're taller and therefore heavier, then you might need a little bit more cushion because you're hitting the ground a little bit harder than say someone like me who's a little bit shorter, maybe a little bit lighter than you. Um, but you could be a really small person, but if you're really fast, you're going to be hitting that ground hard. So like it's not purely about weight. So that's so there's some things that kind of go into that. So that's kind of how I think about weight and like fast shoes or soft shoes and things like that. Quote unquote fast or quote unquote soft. Um, all right. Let's see. Mark Elliott says, what shoe would you recommend to a heavy midfoot striker? I think for a daily trainer, if you think you're a heavy midfoot striker, I think the Nova Blast is a pretty good option. I think the Pegasus is a good option. Clifton is also going to be a good option as well. So those I think are going to have a little bit more softness in the front. The Freedom 3 might also be a really good option for you as well. The Power Run Plus that's in there is pretty nice. I had a couple of issues with that shoe. I'm not sure if it was too squishy, or I'm not sure if it was not squish. I don't know if there was like a hint of stability in it. I'm not sure exactly what it was. But there were certain things about it that didn't agree with me in the Freedom 3, but for the most part, people tend to love that shoe. So those are some things that I would recommend. All right, we got runner review says shorter the shorts, the faster the runner. LMAO. I should be wearing tights all year long. That's funny. All right, let's get one more, and then I'm just melting out here in the sunshine. Um, Anna says, decided to take a day of running, and I think day off running, and did some rowing on the water rower today. Felt good to mix the training up a bit. Looking forward to cycling a bit more soon as well. Man, and as you've been mixing it up, and I feel like, do you have two dogs? Because I saw another dog on Instagram today, and it wasn't Pip. So like, I don't know if you're just taking everybody's dogs in the neighborhood for a run, or if you have two dogs. But it looked like there was another dog in there. But it looks like you're having like kind of the best summer ever. You've been running a bunch, cycling, rowing, and going to the beach. Sounds like a lot of fun. I'm very envious. Um, all right, I think that's a good place to end it for today. Well, one interesting question before I go. Adrian Polanski, slipping in one question at the end, says, "Does running make you a better person?" I'm not sure. I would say yes. I think there's a lot of things about running that help you develop characteristics that are, or traits or strengths that are very useful in your everyday life. So I think I would say yes today. All right. With that, I will sign off for today. Thanks so much for checking in with me. And hopefully the wind wasn't too much of a problem in terms of the audio for today. I'll have a video out tomorrow morning, and then I'll be back for Monday mukbang. I'm going to try to get some taco pizza. I might even eat meat tomorrow for it. So um, check back in for that tomorrow, same time, 3 p.m. Central Time. And in the meantime, hopefully you guys are staying safe out there on your runs, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks, everybody.